I love potatoes, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make what I call potato stacks, and you can use all kind of different ingredients to make this dish, and it's delicious and it's easy. All right, so in this case I'm going to be using little serving size dishes. That's right, and then I can make different types of stuffings and stuff like that. And you're going to need your potatoes, and in this case I'm using the Baker potatoes, and the only hard thing about making this dish is peeling them. That's right, it's an easy dish, very easy to make. So peel all the potatoes that you're going to use. In this case I'm using about, I think, 5 or 6 potatoes. That's right. And you're going to take a dish and you're going to put some milk in it. Just make sure it's deep enough so you can add your potatoes to it. So I'm adding the seasoning. In this case I'm using the smoked paprika because these potatoes are going to have a little kick to it. So smoked paprika, a little bit of pepper, and then of course you can always add a little bit of salt to give it some more flavor as well. Now, I bought a can of chipotle peppers, and I'm taking some of the juice out of that can, and I'm going to mix it in with the milk and the spices. It's going to give it that little bit of kick. Now, the reason why I have this bowl or pan with the milk and the seasonings and juice in it is because I'm going to add slices of potatoes to it. And to slice these potatoes, I am using a mandolin. Make sure you use the safety features on the mandolin to slice your potatoes thin like this. They're about the thickness of a potato chip. That's right, potato chip. And as you can see here, I sliced my finger. That's right, I sliced it, and back to good old editing. I am now using the safety feature that came with it, and I have a Band-Aid on my finger. All right, so you're gonna slice the potatoes up really thin, about as thick as a potato chip, a Ruffles potato chip. That's right, with the ridges. And you're gonna make sure every single slice is soaked in that milk. So you're gonna have to separate them because they're kind of probably gonna just sit on top of each other. So make sure you separate them so that way every single potato is in that juice or sauce. Why do I keep calling it juice? Huh. All right, now it's time to start the stacking process. But first I'm going to use some butter. And in this case, I'm using unsalted butter. I don't want too much salt in this dish, all right? Because I already have seasonings in it. And you're going to layer the dish. Now, this is going to be the first layer. Make sure you overlap every slice so that way the whole bottom of the dish is covered. Now, you can make a bigger dish, but just make sure they're all layered and they're covering the whole bottom of the dish. Now, I'm taking my chipotle peppers, and these babies are juicy and they definitely have a kick to them. For some reason, I used to think chipotle peppers didn't have a kick to it, but these babies did have a kick. All right, so you're gonna layer it. Now that you've put the chipotle peppers on, you're gonna take some more potato slices and you're gonna stack them. Make sure it's completely covering all of the peppers. That's right, cover every single piece of the pepper, and it's gonna look like this. Add some salt, some pepper, and in this case, I'm adding some Parmesan cheese to give it that nice little cheese flavor. And then I'm gonna take some bacon. That's right, bacon. Add some bacon and some more of the sauce from the chipotle can, or the can of chipotle. And then you're gonna add another layer of potatoes. That's right. And you can repeat this as many times as you want to make it as big as you want. And I'm gonna add some more salt, some pepper, and some more Parmesan cheese. I love fresh Parmesan cheese. That's right. And you can use any type of cheese you want, matter of fact. All right, so now that I've done that, it is time to do the second stack. That's right. This one right here, I am adding some wax paper because I don't want the potatoes to stick to the bottom of this one. And you don't have to do it this way. This is just the way that I'm doing it, so that way I can show you there's a way you can do it with wax paper or without wax paper, okay? Because technically you can make it like this, so you can pull the stack out and put it on a plate if you didn't want to use a dish. And once again, butter, add some good old slices of potatoes, and add some butter to the potatoes. Now I'm adding cheese. Good old sharp cheddar cheese. That's right. And so I'm adding some of the cheese. I don't want to add a whole lot, but I want to add just enough to make it taste cheesy. And of course, the bacon, more bacon. Adding more bacon makes everything wonderful. All right, so adding more bacon, and I'm adding another layer of sliced potatoes once again, and it just repeats itself until you feel that you have enough done. All right, so more potatoes, and then once again, adding some butter to it, unsalted butter. Okay, make sure you're using unsalted butter unless you want it to be salty. And now I'm adding bacon. I love bacon, and I'm adding more cheese, and then I'm adding another stack of potatoes or more slices of potatoes. That's right. So we are up to 3 stacks of potatoes. That's right. This is going to be delicious. And the winner of this is going to be the good old Epicurious truffle, Parmesan, and black garlic seasoning. I got this at Costco, and I love using this stuff because it gives it that nice Parmesan, truffle, pepper taste to it. It's unique and it's very, very tasty. So I'm adding a layer of that on top. Like I said, the world is your oyster. And it's time to wrap it up. And I'm going to press this down. Okay, so I'm putting the wax paper or folding it over, and I'm pressing it down so that way the stack is nice and tight and compact. That's right. There we go. All right, so I'm going to set that to the side. Now it's time for me to do the same thing with this. I'm putting a piece of wax paper on top of this one, and then I'm going to press this one down as well to make sure the stack is nice and compact and tight. A nice solid potato stack. That's what you want. That's your goal for this. Now, we've got to put some foil on top to protect the potatoes because you don't want them to get too crispy on top before everything else cooks. And so we're going to wrap these babies up in some foil. And then after that, we're going to put them in the oven at 375 degrees for 40 minutes. And after 40 minutes, it is time to give them a look. Now, I did add more plates on top of the potato stacks because I wanted to give it that extra weight. So that way it's nice and dense. You don't have to do that, but I chose to do it in this video. Now, for this potato stack, this is the Chipotle one. This is the one I want to check because it's not wrapped in wax paper, so it's easier to check to see if the potatoes are done. So they look like and they feel like they could cook another few minutes. So I'm going to put them back in the oven for 10 more minutes so that way it's done. But I don't want them to dry out because I am putting this in uncovered. All right, so 10 minutes went by and voila, there we go. They are done. They are ready to check and taste and everything else. Now, for these right here, I'm adding some Parmesan cheese on top. Can you imagine the flavor? Chipotle spice with Parmesan and potatoes. It is delicious. It smells so good. And for this stack, this is the one that's wrapped in the wax paper. So this one, I'm sure it's done because it's been insulated for the extra 10 minutes. So I'm sure it's done. And all of that cheese and bacon and all those flavors should be married together really, really nice and give a really, really good flavor. All right, so the trick for this one, the trick for the one that's wrapped in wax paper is to take it out, and you want to take it out in a way so that way it doesn't break up. So for me, I am using the method of cutting it. Pretty much, yeah, cutting around the edges because that's where the cheese melted and stuck to the paper. And just be careful because you don't want to go through all of this and then have your stack fall apart. And so I flip it over and I'm taking off the bottom part of the wax paper. And man, look at it. Doesn't it look tasty? And it's fun. And you can create so many different varieties of this. And for this, I want to give it a taste. That's right. I already know it's going to taste good. I just know it does because you can't go wrong with potatoes and bacon and, and cheese. You can't go wrong with it at all. This is amazing. It tastes so good and it's so easy to make. And it's one of those dishes that you just have to give it a try. And you can also have your kids have some fun with it too and let them make their own stacks and, have some fun with the family dinner. Let the kids cook, have fun with it. And the flavor in this is really, really good. And it's so simple. Now this baby right here, this is the one that's going to have the kick to it. And the potatoes did cook a little bit harder on top, and maybe I should have added a layer of foil on it so that way they're a little bit more tender instead of more harder or firmer. I hate the word, using that word harder on there because they're not hard. They're still tender. They're just cooked a little bit more. And these babies have some good flavor, good heat to it. And if you like spice, if you like a little kick, then I'm telling you, these babies right here will definitely give it to you. I like spicy food, but I don't like it too hot when it interrupts the flavors of the rest of the, the seasonings and everything. But this is so good. And the peppers give a texture of meat to it. So if you like making potatoes and you want to try something different, then give this a try. I guarantee you, you'll love it and you'll have fun with it. So, hey, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. And I promise you, I will be back. Bye.